What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Marvel Rivals video. Been a bit, but I really wanted to talk about this new interesting topic that has kind of had some fans in a panic or a worry, you could say. And that is NetEase, the creators of Marvel Rivals, saying that they were essentially given the green light from Marvel to make an OC character for the game. Or I guess OCs technically being possible. Essentially this came from a leaker, right? And they say NetEase has been given the green light from Marvel to create original characters for Marvel Rivals. On the question of whether any original characters are in active development right now, the game director responded, "Stay tuned." Now, of course, this has a lot of people kind of upset, most likely mad, because, there's still so many fan favorite Marvel characters that are yet to be in this game. There's tons of X-Men, tons of Avengers, different Spider-Man characters. We need more villains, obviously. So this is like, everyone's like freaking out, thinking like this is gonna ruin their chances. Honestly, at most, maybe we'll get an OC for maybe every class, so like 3 total. But I don't think it'll ever be very close to one another, because obviously you gotta pattern out with the characters that people know more and love more, because there's more history. Now, if you want my honest opinion about this whole situation, it's not a bad idea, right? Technically speaking, every single Marvel character, or honestly every comic book character ever, has been a person's OC. Like you create it and then they try to see if it was successful. Now, of course, we keep talking about characters like Spider-Man, X-Men, Cap, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and they're like well known in the world now, but that's because they've been around for years. But when they started the characters, no one's gonna know. So of course people are gonna be kind of mad. And that's not a good thing. You need to make new characters, because one, it can bring a lot more people to a game if that character's like powers, ability, or their story, ethnicity attracts people, right? Like that's how it works. Again, a big reason as to why Spider-Man is so relatable is he's a broke, normally, teenager, college, whatever student who just does his best every day, but he is still constantly just bombarded with responsibility. Like, it's a very personal thing that we can all relate to. Anyone can wear the mask, right? And there have been recent successful starts for OC characters as of recently. Now, I say successful kind of in quotes, because a lot of people hate this character, but I think they're insane. Now, who am I talking about? Luna Snow. She is a very recent character that was created, but people, you'll probably see it online all the time, especially on Twitter, will call her an industry plant, right? Now, what is that, right? Essentially, it's someone who was made to cater and to just, get money, and like, they just feel like they don't deserve it because the company is giving them, I guess, more effort to be loved, which, I don't necessarily agree with that. Like what sense does that make? But let's talk about Luna for a second. So Luna, she wasn't created by NetEase in this game, Marvel Rivals, right? She first debuted in the game Marvel Future Fight. And Marvel Future Fight was a collaboration between Marvel Games and Netmarble. And then Netmarble is a Southern Korean company, so they developed Luna Snow as an original character for the game, aiming to add a unique ice-based hero and introduce a new Korean hero to the Marvel Universe. Now, let's talk about the character herself. I haven't read her comics, because, she's had comics since then. People still complain. And sure, people, I've seen all talk of like, oh, well, Luna is boring in her comics. And you know what? Fair enough. I don't know, because I've never read them. However, what I will say is, let's talk about another not so new character, but he was for a while, Miles Morales. I've seen tons of people who don't like him in the comics because they say he's just boring and like just a fragment of what Peter is. Now, there could be other opinions as to why they don't like him, but you know what? Okay, understandable. Stuff like Spider-Verse coming out, the films, added so much to Miles and made him stand out. Brought a bunch of new fans, and now Miles is a lot more loved. I won't say he's loved fully, because, people are stupid. So Luna Snow, she's appearing in more Marvel media that's not just the game. She has appeared in like some TV shows as of lately, like I believe she was on Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, just as like, I think she was someone that Harry Osborn took a picture with. But Luna Snow is a cool character. She is a Korean K-pop idol with superpowers. Why are we complaining? Like, who cares? Like, that's cool. And then stuff with Rivals is a fun game, and I would love to see NetEase's interpretation of a new character. Like, this game is about multiverses. There's of course going to be a possibility that a original character that we've never seen before would exist. Like, it's just fun to do. I think everyone needs to calm down. It's not, the end of the world. I also think probably a lot of fear comes from maybe the is people being unsure of, how long will Marvel Rivals last? Will this be an Overwatch where it is, very successful and spanned a good amount of years, so you get, more characters? And since Rivals is doing a lot more content faster than Overwatch has ever done, let's say if they do last as long as Overwatch, there's going to be tons of characters compared. Even then, you haven't even scratched probably like 5% of what Marvel exists, because they have access to everyone ever created in Marvel. Someone is always going to be someone's favorite. I'm sure you've thought of it. The Blob as a tank, I would love that. I love the tank. I love the tank role. I don't really care about Blob, but I'm sure somewhere someone would love to play as him, right? It's a difficult situation, right? If your favorite isn't the mainstay like Spider-Man, you may not be able to get your character. So I can understand the frustration of an OC taking that spot, but I say give it a chance. Don't hit on it too much, because your favorites started like that. They were given a chance to become a favorite, and look at that. Fantastic Four, no one knew that would be successful, and sure, you can make the argument, well, are they really successful because they're not as popular per se, even though they are Marvel's first family? But regardless, let's just chill on it. Let's breathe, relax. At most, again, just 3. I guarantee it just makes sense to have 3 OCs for each of the class of tank, DPS, and support. And let's lay off Luna, right? I think the Luna hate is so forced. It's embarrassing. It's so desperate, and you're not cool for hating her. I don't know. But let me know what you all think down below. Do you agree with what I said about the situation? What are your thoughts? I'm sure I'll get a lot of hate for my opinions with especially Luna and the OCs and stuff, but let's just give them a chance, let them cook, because honestly, Rivals has been really, really good. I think an OC would be awesome and spectacular to see. Maybe even amazing, superior, incredible, fantastic. Say that again.